Welcome to the Chop Shop. I'm Chip. If you're watching this video, chances are it's because of the title. Yep, got an old beat up bench seat out of an OBS truck. Want to reupholster it, want to refoam it. Can't find any information out there. Trust me, I know. I looked. Ain't there. Everybody's pulling them out, putting buckets in them. Don't know why. I want a bench seat. My 72 Chevy pickup truck came with an upgraded, at the time it would have been an upgraded OBS bench seat. It was all tattered, torn, wanted to reupholster it. So I did it. It's not instructional. If you're looking at this like I'm going to show you how to do it, you're wrong. I had no idea what I was doing. I just did it. As my dad always said, if I can't fix it, I'm going to screw it up so bad that nobody can. So let's check it out. Well, here it is in all of its glory. One heavy parcel, apparently. Lift carefully. Nobody does that. I'm going to use my back. Yeah, so this might be too much for me to carry. I will get it inside. Check back in with you. All right, well, here it is. The upholstery set and the foam set. Foam set, here's the part number right here. Seat foam D1058. Bench 88 to 99 truck. I guess you can read, right? I didn't read the description on it. Because just like everybody else, I just bought the cheapest one. So, this is the deal. The anti-sag springs are inside of the foam. So you got to cut the foam out from the anti-sag springs in order to install the new foam. And the new foam is actually formed to fit over top of the frame. I don't know if you can see that or not. So, looks like I got my work cut out for me. Let's get at it. So they take the frame assembled with the springs, they put it inside of a mold, and then they shoot like Expand-A-Foam in there, and it forms around these springs. So I'm going to have to cut it out of every single one of these springs, and they go all the way across. Oh, every 2 inches. Now I see why they said send it to an upholstery shop and not even bother. Hope the back isn't as bad. What a nightmare. Not looking forward to this. So I'll save you guys the headache and skip to it when I'm done. Got it halfway done. A couple takeaways from this. Utility knife, not ideal. The foam is around each one of these springs individually. It is not easy to cut in there with a utility knife. It's going to dull out. It's going to hit the springs. It's going to break your blade. It's going to piss you off. Not something you want to do. Not a kid-friendly project. Side note. But what I did have is my father-in-law had this electric knife. It is an old General Electric knife, dual blade. This thing cuts through that foam like butter. It's kind of like filleting a fish. I went down first, hit the spring, turned it sideways, went across. Foam peeled out the other side. Easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Looks like a stuffed animal factory exploded. Still foam all over the springs and whatnot. I already test fitted the new foam piece. It looks like it's gonna work. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. I don't know if I told you that or not. But I'm gonna take this out in the garage, clean up what I can, make it look halfway decent even though nobody's gonna see it because that's just the kind of guy I am. Clean up my mess so my wife doesn't castrate me when she gets home. And we'll check back with you with a shiny piece of metal, ready to fit the foam. And then we gotta tackle the top. The back. I hope the back is only half as hard as the base was. Fast forward, it's tomorrow. Today. The day after what you just saw. Yeah, tomorrow. So be sure when you get this thing down to the metal and you're trying to, you know, do the Facebook Marketplace rebuild on it, use your drill mounted shirt catcher here. And once your wires start laying over like that, just flip her right on over into rejuvenation mode. That way, First piece of metal you catch, it'll skip up and wrap your shirt up like a bow tie. Ask me how I know. If you're using any type of mechanical means to remove the remainder of the foam, safety third. Don't just use your safety squints. That stuff gets everywhere. Speaking of which, be sure to leave your drawers open on your toolbox, on your tool cart. Leave your tool cart uncovered. That way, you know, all that stuff gets in there. If you store your holiday decorations in there, in your garage, jump up there, open them totes up. That way stuff can get in there, and you can remind yourself how bad this project sucks next year when you're hanging Christmas decorations. Just another helpful tip. What I did was I just found them springs by feel, poking through, ran my electric knife right down that one, right across this one, popped it out. Pretty easy. Not as painstaking as the other one. Here we are back in the house. We got our rebuilt bench seat frame. You can see all the Rust-Oleum rust reform coating that I put on it. Put the black where you might be able to see between the upholstery. So this thing is brand new, right? Sure. We're gonna get the foam laid out. I might apply a little spray adhesive around the edges just to hold it in place while we slip the cover over and install our hog rings and whatnot. We'll see how bad I got to wrestle with it first. Take it one bite at a time. Oh, back out in the garage, jumping you guys around a little bit. Got the foam on the bottom frame. Also got the foam on the top frame. Not really liking this. I slipped the cover over, and this bar was pretty prominent through. So I ordered some 1-inch high density foam from that Jungle website. I'm just gonna spray adhesive that right on the back here, kind of give it a little added thickness so that that back cover fits a little more gooder. Let's get that glued on. Put you guys on a time lapse. Carry you along with me. I'm gonna take my first stab at hog rings. I guess just common sense, I would start in the middle. This has got that little rib in it, right? Take your hog ring, connect that one to the back one, sandwich it along, work your way out towards the edges. Make sure you don't create any wrinkles and hope for the best. It's just gonna be like a spray and pray type ordeal, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. First time, if I screw it up, I ain't gonna be too mad at it. Kind of skipped ahead on you a little bit. I got the front all hog ringed in to the frame. It's pretty much same story. Just make sure you don't get any creases. Start in the middle, work your way out. Wanted to talk about this fitment issue I got. See the bracket where the back goes on? I'm gonna have to cut the cover a relief hole because there isn't one. So I kind of wanted to get everything where it should be, so I'm not just hacking into a brand new vinyl seat cover in the wrong spot. So I'm gonna flip it over and see what it looks like. I got it flipped around so you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. These are the brackets that the back bolt onto. There are no provisions in the cover itself. I'm going to assume that it's going to hit from this seam forward a little bit. So I may just measure this and make the cut just a little bit shorter, so I don't run into any issues. So here's my cuts. Did I do that right? Probably not. Was it a pain in the ass? Absolutely. They don't look like they're quite lined up, but once I get the back tugged down over the foam, it should hopefully, maybe, possibly, could look better. So let's hold off on the negative comments. There's probably some upholstery guys watching this just for laughs, and they're just tearing me up. All right, got it flipped over, looking at the belly side. The front side, or the back side, has this plastic J-channel that's got to wrap around and go over this. I'm assuming that isn't how the old seat cover was. I'm just going winging and dinging it here. So I am going to throw this thing down on the ground and wrestle with it. Fast forward. Got the bottom all done. Dig it. Set the back on. I lost my ability to fold it forward. I probably got something put together incorrectly up here. Is it perfect? No. Nope, not at all. Got some wrinkles. Like I said, this isn't a tutorial. This isn't a how-to. I had no idea what I was doing. This is pretty ugly. But we'll just tuck that up there. It's on the driver, on the passenger side anyway. So keep in mind, this isn't going in a brand new truck either. This is going in a 50-year-old C10. See, that's better. Again, wrinkles here. They may steam out. I don't know. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's not perfect, but hey, nothing is. So I'm going to go in and get the seat tracks, because I know that the adjust lever has to be hog ringed into the bottom before I put the hog rings away. Get that done. Get the rest of the springs in. See if I remember how all this goes. And maybe that's a job well done, or done okay. We'll see.